here in London for AM Best's Insurance Market Briefing Europe. For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Greg Carter, who's Managing Director, Analytics for EMEA and Asia-Pacific. Greg, welcome.
Thank you, Richard.
So Greg, you gave a comprehensive overview of AM Best's credit rating activity. What does that tell us about the state of European insurance?
I think what it's pointing to is a gradual decline in credit quality, but that's not a dramatic decline. And I think what we have seen from the rating actions is there's been a number of downgrades, certainly far more downgrades than upgrades. There's been more negative outlooks being assigned to ratings. So I think that's a reflection of the challenging conditions that companies are facing, and that is having an impact on balance sheet strength more than any other building block.
Are there any themes that have been perhaps underappreciated as the world has been distracted by COVID and inflation and other geopolitical challenges?
I think the industry's generally been very well aware of the risks that it faces. I think what perhaps has caught the industry a little unaware, perhaps a little on the cold, has been the rate of the rise of inflation. And central bank responses to that have been, as one of our speakers said this morning, a little bit slow and not coordinated. The Fed moved far earlier than the ECB, for example, and that exacerbated some of the inflationary pressures in Europe. So I think the pace of change is certainly something that companies have perhaps been a little caught out by. It certainly was a risk that they were aware of, but the rate at which it's emerged has been perhaps a little more than people were expecting.
So looking to the future, what's the takeaway message?
Well, I don't want to sound too pessimistic, but I think it is fair to say that we would be expecting, again, more negative rating actions than positive over the course of the next 12 months. That said, this is a well-run, well-capitalised industry on the whole. So I think the industry is very well positioned to weather that storm, but it won't weather the storm unscathed.
Greg, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Richard.
For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks.